Romancing Saga 2 is a complicated JRPG. Due to how unforgiving it can be, I believe many new players can have even more fun playing this game when going in with a basic understanding of its various systems. But if you want a truly blind experience, you may find it more rewarding, albeit time consuming, to jump in and figure out these systems for yourself. Knowledge truly is power in the SaGa series. This series of videos is based on the remaster for PC, consoles, and mobile, since that's the only official way to play in English. It includes updated visuals and music, some extra content, and a few new quality of life features, although nearly all the concepts discussed in this video also apply to the original Super Famicom release. No stats, characters, or core mechanics were changed for the remaster. With that out of the way, let's discuss the economy and kingdom development in Romancing Saga 2. The Kingdom of Avalon starts out small, little more than a castle and a few shops and houses, but as you progress through the game, you'll have the opportunity to expand your hometown by purchasing new buildings, as well as adding new regions to your empire. Unlike most JRPGs, your protagonist is rich. They are the emperor after all, and the money they spend comes out of the kingdom's treasury, which you can check in this room of Avalon Castle. Here, you can also find out what your kingdom's income is. That income is collected after each battle you start. Yep, that means you can flee from battles over and over to earn lots of money. I don't recommend this though, since it'll increase your battle counter and eventually make enemies stronger, while you won't be earning any tech points, aka experience, from those battles. Your total income is increased whenever you convince a new region to join your empire. It comes from taxes after all. You can also increase your income by building the orchard in Avalon, which I'll discuss in a bit. Finally, money can be found in chests throughout the world, which usually have 100,000 crowns or more, making them worth seeking out. So, what do you need so much money for? Said no one ever, but I'm talking about in the game. For one, you can pay to fund new additions and expansions to Avalon, which provide various benefits that I'll discuss shortly. Another option is to research new weapons and armor in Avalon. You can also go fill up your Emperor's pocket money at any time and use it to buy weapons and equipment at shops outside of Avalon. Let's take a look at each of these ways to spend your not so hard-earned cash. When shopping in a town controlled by Avalon, you won't have to pay for items. It's good to be the king. At shops belonging to foreign regions though, you will have to pay. As you progress through the game, you'll conquer these regions and bring them into the fold. One thing to note is that you can only buy weapons and armor this way. Sometimes, this merchandise can be pretty good, but in general, the very best weapons and armor are found in dungeons. As such, buying weapons isn't all that useful in this game, although I do recommend buying some armaments in the very early parts of the story. Another thing to remember is that you can't purchase any consumables. Items that restore MP or SP can be found in Avalon's storage room and get restocked with each new generation. You can also find them in chests or as drops from enemies. Researching equipment is a way to get some of the game's stronger weapons and armor, at least until you reach the later dungeons. Once you're past the intro generations, you'll have access to the blacksmith, where 2 NPCs will offer a new weapon or armor piece to develop. This costs money, and the research will be finished after 15 battles. You can only develop one weapon or piece of armor at a time, so don't forget to visit the blacksmith periodically, as their equipment is often the best available for most of the game, if you keep up with your development. The specific weapons and armor available here are chosen at random, with some caveats. There are 3 tiers for each weapon type, meaning you can develop 3 short swords, 3 spears, 3 axes, and so on, starting with the first tier for each. So, the first weapon you're offered will be the basic version of one of the weapon types. The next might be an upgrade to the weapon type you've already developed, or another basic tier weapon. Generally, the armor is the most useful, since you'll be finding great weapons throughout the game, but stronger armor is harder to come by. It works similarly to weapons in that there are tiers for each armor class, and shields are available too. Once you complete research for a weapon or armor piece, you'll get one of them for free, and then you'll be able to get more at the weapon shops in Avalon, which, as you might remember, you won't have to pay for. It's also worth noting that while the blacksmith equipment is good, it's not essential to completing the game, and it's very expensive to develop. I recommend focusing on developing the magic research facility and orchard first, then spending at the blacksmith if you've got cash to spare. There are several construction projects you can take on in Avalon, some better than others. For the most part, they're unlocked when you reach specific conditions, but they're also occasionally offered to you at the start of a generation. To check if one's available, go sit on your throne. Sometimes you'll have to do this a few times for the event to trigger. These buildings usually cost 1 million crowns or more and are typically the best way to spend your money since they provide benefits ranging from nice to have to nearly essential. There's the Magic Research Facility, which lets you learn spells, Avalon University, which unlocks a new class, the Heroes Quarter, which will get filled with units of various classes for easy recruitment, and the Orchard, which raises your income. I'll quickly go through each of these. The Magic Research Facility is where your characters learn new schools of magic and spells. That's right, you gotta construct a whole building to unlock what is a basic feature in most other JRPGs, and I recommend buying it as soon as you can since magic is very useful in this game. You'll need to have played up to the point where Gerard has his golden armor, and your Emperor also needs at least 25 MP or magic points. You can increase your MP by using spells in battle to raise your magic levels. You'll also need at least 1 million crowns in your kingdom's treasury. Once you've met these conditions, sit on your throne in Avalon and you'll get the option to build the Magic Research Facility. After 15 battles, it'll be ready for use. Check out my Magic and Spells video for more details on each school of magic and recommended spells. Avalon University costs 2 million crowns and is, well, a university, and mostly serves as decoration and flavor for Avalon. There's lots of MPs to chat with, and more importantly, it's the home of the Strategist class, one of the best in the entire game, and the university is the only way to access it. It's possibly the best spellcasting class due to its typically high speed and magic stats, and one of the characters, Kong Ming, is the best spellcaster in the game. Check out character stat sheets on the web for more info. The university is also a starting point for a few of the game's events, which I won't spoil here. Be sure to talk to everyone in there once you unlock it and check back every once in a while. The Heroes Quarter becomes available once you control the regions of Yuyuan, Cameroon, and Nazara, and costs either 3 or 5 million crowns, depending on where you are in the game. It provides a handy location right in Avalon to recruit characters from the game's stronger classes, which are usually only available in their respective locations elsewhere in the world. You can only recruit classes you've already unlocked though. Typically, you'll get the option to build the Heroes Quarter during your final generation, and it might not be very useful to you by that time. If you're able to build it earlier though, you might find it useful for easily recruiting some of the best classes in the game. The Orchard is only available in the remaster, so if you're playing the original Japanese release, you won't have access to it. This outdoor facility costs 300,000 crowns to build and increases your kingdom's income. It can be upgraded over the course of the game to increase your income even further until you've made back your investment and then some. Remember that you collect your income after each battle. It has 3 stages, and within each stage are several additional stages of development. You unlock these by, what else, fighting battles. So after you've built the orchard, visit it every once in a while to see if there's a message that more trees have been planted. Once you've hit the maximum for a generation, you'll be able to build the next stage of the orchard for another 300,000 crowns in the following generation. The orchard is completely optional, so don't feel like you need to build it if money is tight. 300,000 crowns, however, isn't all that much, and if you fight a lot of battles, it's a great source of income. That about covers the economy and kingdom development in Romance and Saga 2. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, comments, or corrections, please leave them in the comments below.